Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 2023. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's MLB League Championship Series games and look ahead to two big games tonight. NFL, college football, NHL, NBA preseason ended. We have soccer, we have golf, NASCAR, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with the MLB, the League Championship Series. Two games tonight. So Friday, Astros over the Rangers 5-4 as the Astros take a 3-2 series lead. Ryan Presley to win, Jose Leclerc to loss. There was that big brawl in the game as Adolis Garcia gets plunked after hitting a home run. The bench is clear, and he gets ejected. Dusty Baker got ejected. It was a big deal. And then Jose Altuve hits the go-ahead homer in the ninth inning. They put the Astros on top 5-4. So that was an epic game. And then the Diamondbacks beat the Phillies 6-5, even up that series at 2 apiece. As the Diamondbacks come back from 5-2 down to win. Alek Thomas with the pinch hit homer in the bottom of the eighth to tie it at 5. Great game. Getting the win was Kevin Ginkel. The loss was Craig Kimbrell, who literally blew up. And Paul Sewell gets his 5th save of the postseason. And on Saturday, the Phillies bounced back and win 6-1 over the Diamondbacks to take a 3-2 series lead back to Philly. So 2 terrible losses in the postseason. The Phillies bounced back from both of them. Zach Wheeler the win, Zach Gallen the loss. And then yesterday, the Rangers beat the Astros 9-2 to force a Game 7. Nate Eovaldi gets the win, Framber Valdez the loss. And then Garcia gets the go-ahead grand slam in this game. He's probably the favorite for the LCS MVP right now, if you ask me. But if Houston wins, it's going to be Altuve. So 5 o'clock on TBS, Game 6, D-backs Phillies. Should be a lot of fun. It's Aaron Nola against Merrill Kelly. Just want to pull up the odds real quickly. The Phils are minus 184. The D-backs are plus 154. Over under 8. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 134. Phils minus 1.5 is plus 112. For this one, I'm going to go over 4.5 Philly runs at minus 102. I just think that it's going to be a party night in Philadelphia, and I think they close out, and I win my Phillies in 6 bet that I placed about a week and a half ago. At 8 o'clock on Fox tonight, or Fox Sports 1, I think it's going to be on Fox because it's a Game 7. Rangers, Astros, Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, Tom Verducci on the call. Meanwhile, in the NLCS, it's Brian Anderson, Jeff Francoeur, and Ron Darling. We have Max Scherzer, Christian Javier. Max Scherzer better freaking deliver tonight. They made this trade for moments like this. And if he comes up short, boy, he's going to be taking a lot of criticism. The Astros are minus 126. The Rangers are plus 108. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 188. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 155. That's a high total for a Game 7. But I like the under a lot. I think this is a 5-4, 4-3 game either way. 5-3, something in that realm. So I'm going to go under 9.5, minus 118. So I think, gunpoint, I'm going to say the Rangers get it done. I don't feel good about it. This has been a series of momentum. Road teams won every game. It's just their time. I'm going to say Aroldis Chapman makes it shaky, and then the Rangers replace him. And the Astros don't take advantage. And obviously, I think the Phils close out as well. World Series gets underway Friday, so it should be exciting. All right, the NFL. We'll go over Sunday's results and look ahead to Monday Night Football for tonight. Giants over the Commanders 14-7. Giants 2-5. Washington 3-4. Browns over the Colts 39-38. Browns 4-2. Indianapolis 3-4. Patriots over the Bills 29-25 in a surprising upset. New England 2-5. Buffalo 4-3. Bill gets his 300th win. Ravens kill the Lions 38-6. Ravens 5-2. Detroit's 5-2. Bears over the Raiders 30-12. The Bears are 2-5. Vegas is 3-4. Falcons over the Bucs 16-13 on a game-winning field goal by Young Oku as time expired. Atlanta 4-3 and Tampa 3-3. Steelers over the Rams 24-17. The Steelers 4-2. LA 3-4. Seahawks over the Cardinals 20-10. So yours truly still surviving her survivor pool. They're 4-2. Arizona's 1-6. Arizona's the worst team in the league. Broncos over the Panthers 19-17. The Broncos 2-5. The Packers 2-4. Chiefs over the Chargers 31-17. Chiefs 6-1. Chargers 2-4. And on Sunday Night Football, the Eagles beat the Dolphins 31-17. Eagles 6-1. Dolphins 5-2. All right, and then Monday Night Football tonight. 8:15 on ABC and ESPN, the 49ers against the Vikings. So looks like Christian McCaffrey's going to play. Meanwhile, Trent Williams out, Deebo Samuel out. And on the other side, Justin Jefferson out, Marcus Davenport out. I want to see about Dre Greenlaw on San Francisco. Questionable. I just want to make sure no one else on mini is hurt of note. So I project San Francisco by 3.5. Total 44 3/5. And it's 6.5 and 43. I love the Vikings getting the points. Love it. It's not rare or not common where I bet on an underdog on Monday Night Football with this much of discrepancy in my projections, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Minnesota getting the 6.5. Do I think they win the game? They can. I'm willing to throw plus 250 in there at the Texas Rangers and maybe some hockey underdogs tonight. So I'm not calling for the Vikings outright win, but I will sprinkle potentially a little bit on the money line because plus 250 is juicy. I'm going to say the 49ers win by 3, like 23-20 or something like that. 24-20, 24-21. Okay, now I'll move on to college football. We'll go over the results from Saturday and Friday. So Friday, only one game. SMU destroys Temple 55-0. Saturday, number 3 Ohio State over number 7 Penn State 20-12. Number 6 Oklahoma over UCF 31-29. Number 22 Air Force over Navy 17-6. Mississippi State over Arkansas 7-3. That was a baseball score. Rutgers over Indiana 31-14. BC over Georgia Tech 38-23. Baylor over Cincinnati 32-29. Memphis over UAB 45-21. Ohio over Western Michigan 20-17. Charlotte over East Carolina 10-7. Georgia Southern over Yale Monroe 38-28. Bowling Green over Akron 41-14. Number 9 Oregon over Washington State 38-24. Number 11 Alabama over number 17 Tennessee 34-20. Number 20 Missouri over South Carolina 34-12. Number 23 Tulane over North Texas 38-28. Minnesota upsets number 24 Iowa 12-10. Wisconsin over Illinois 25-21. Nebraska over Northwestern 17-9. South Florida over UConn 24-21. Wake over Pitt 21-17. Oklahoma State over West Virginia 48-34. Ball State over Central Michigan 24-17. Northern Illinois over Eastern Michigan, 2013. Buffalo over Kent State, 24-6. Number 8, Texas over Houston, 31-24. Toledo over Miami of Ohio, 21-17. UTSA over Florida Atlantic, 36-10. New Mexico over Hawaii, 42-21. Virginia upsets number 10 North Carolina, 31-27. Number 13 Ole Miss beats Auburn, 28-21. BYU beats Texas Tech, 27-14. Kansas State destroys TCU, 41-3. Old Dominion over App State, 28-21. Coastal Carolina over Arkansas State, 27-17. UNLV over Colorado State, 25-23. San Jose State over Utah State, 42-21. Number 2 Michigan destroys Michigan State, 49-zip. Number 4 Florida State over number 16 Duke, 38-20. Number 19 LSU destroys Army, 62-zip. Number 14 Utah upsets number 18 USC, 34-32. Miami beats Clemson, 28-20 in overtime. Double overtime, I might add. So I get the over there for Fab 5. Georgia State over Louisiana, 2017. Nevada over San Diego State, 6-0. That's a shocking result. Number 25 UCLA over Stanford, 42-7. And number 5 Washington over Arizona State, 15-7. So Washington with a sleepwalk there. All right, NHL, we'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's slate. We'll start with Friday. Blue Jackets over the Flames 3-1, and the Devils over the Islanders 5-4 in overtime on a game winner by Jack Hughes. Saturday, Red Wings over the Sens 5-2, Coyotes over the Ducks 2-1, Sabres over the Isles 3-1, Canadiens over the Caps 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Cole Caulfield. Leafs over the Lightning 4-3 in overtime on a game winner by John Tavares. Canucks over the Panthers 5-3. Golden Knights over the Blackhawks 5-3. Blues over the Pens 4-2. Preds over the Sharks 5-1. Stars over the Flyers 5-4 in OT on a game winner by Joe Pavelski. Blue Jackets over the Wild 5-4 in OT on a game winner by Jack Roslovic. Avs over the Hurricanes 6-4. Rangers over the Kraken 4-1. Jets over the Oilers 3-2 in OT on a game winner by Mark Sheffley. And the Bruins over the Kings 4-2. And then Sunday, Red Wings over the Flames 6-2 and the Bruins over the Ducks 3-1. Only one game tonight, 7 o'clock NHL Network. You have the Canadiens at the Sabres. Shitty game. Sabres minus 184, Canadiens plus 152, over under 6.5, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 152. Sabres minus 1.5 is plus 126. This isn't easy. But I'm going to go with under 2.5 Montreal goals at plus 114. Only because I think it's hard for them to just get the 3. Okay, NBA preseason finales on Friday. Potentially tonight, if not tomorrow morning, we'll drop the NBA season preview and predictions podcast. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, Friday preseason results. Pacers over the Cavs, 109-104. Magic over Flamengo, 109-76. Sixers over the Hawks, 120-106. Raptors over the Wizards, 134-98. Pistons lose to the Mavs, 114-104. Rockets over the Heat, 110-104. Bucks over the Grizzlies, 124-116. And the Spurs over the Warriors, 122-117. So the season gets underway tomorrow night. We'll preview and pick the games on the podcast tomorrow. All right, soccer from the weekend. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to look forward to for today. We'll start with MLS. Decision day was Saturday. And the playoffs the playoffs don't get underway. Wait a second, they're doing a play-in? So I guess the play-in tournament, I guess that's new. On Wednesday the 25th. So, decision day. Charlotte over Miami 1-0. Columbus over CF Montreal 2-1. Cincinnati Atlanta 2-2 draw. Red Bulls over Nashville 1-0. New England over Philadelphia 2-1. NYCFC over Chicago 1-0. Orlando over Toronto 2-0. Salt Lake over Colorado 1-0. Dallas over Galaxy 4-1. Houston over Portland 3-1. San Jose Austin 1-1 draw. KC over Minnesota 3-1. Seattle over St. Louis 2-0. And Vancouver LAFC 1-1 draw. But yeah, the wild card, they're calling it. Eastern Conference Playoffs wild card. It's Red Bulls Charlotte and Sporting KC in San Jose. So this is new, and then the winner plays the 1 seed. So the 1 seed doesn't get the bye anymore. I don't know if I like that. Kind of like the NFL style, or NFL kind of took theirs, which I liked for the NFL, but I don't know if I like this for MLS. We'll see how this goes. All right, women's Friday, the Reign over Angel City 1-0 on Friday, and then Sunday, Gotham over North Carolina 2-0. USL. Saturday, Louisville over Memphis. I'm sorry, that was a 1-1 draw, but Louisville advances 5-4 on penalties. So this was the quarterfinals of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And then Detroit over Pittsburgh 1-0, Birmingham over Tampa 3-0, San Antonio over Colorado 1-0, Sacramento over Mexico 1-0, Orange County over El Paso 1-0. And then Sunday, Charleston over Indy 5-0, and then Phoenix over San Diego 4-3 in additional extra time. So good on Phoenix for getting the upset over San Diego. German Bundesliga. Friday, Dortmund over Bremen 1-0. Saturday, Stuttgart over Union Berlin 3-0. Freiburg over Bochum 2-1. RB Leipzig over Darmstadt 3-1. Frankfurt over Hoffenheim 3-1. Leverkusen over Wolfsburg 2-1. And Bayern over Mainz 3-1. Sunday, Cologne over Gladbach 3-1. And Augsburg over Heidenheim 5-2. Liga MX. Friday, Mazatlan over Atlas 3-1. Pachuca over Juarez 1-0. Guadalajara over Puebla 2-0. Saturday, Leon over Toluca 1-0. America over Santos 4-3. Querétaro over Tijuana 1-0. And Tigres over Cruz Azul 2-1. Sunday, Monterrey over UNAM 1-0. And Athletic Saint Louis over Necaxa 4-0. French League 1. Friday, Le Havre AC Lens 0-0 draw. Saturday, PSG over Strasbourg 3-0. And Nice over Marseille 1-0. And then yesterday, Lorient over Rennes 2-1. Lille over Brest 1-0. Nantes over Montpellier 2-0. Toulouse Reims 1-1 draw. Monaco over Metz 2-1. And Clermont Foot over Lyon 2-1. Dutch Eredivisie. Saturday, PSV over Fortuna 3-1. RKC Waldrop over FC Volendam 2-1. NEC over Almere City. I'm sorry, that was 1-1 draw. AS Alkmaar over Heerenveen 3-0. And Feyenoord over Vitesse 4-0. And then Sunday, FC Utrecht over Ajax 4-3. PEC Zwolle over Excelsior 4-2. Heracles and FC Twente 2-2 draw. And Go Ahead Eagles Sparta 0-0 draw. In an English league, so Friday's Rotherham-Ipswich game got postponed. And then Saturday, Preston-Millwall 1-1 draw. Blackburn over Cardiff 1-0. Bristol City over Coventry 1-0. Huddersfield over QPR 2-1. Southampton over Hull 2-1. Borough over Birmingham 1-0. Leeds over Norwich City 3-2. Stoke over Sunderland 2-1. Leicester over Swansea 3-1. Watford over Sheffield Wednesday 1-0. And West Brom and Plymouth 0-0 draw. All right, the Premier League, Saturday. Liverpool over Everton 2-0. Wolves over Bournemouth 2-1. Brentford over Burnley 3-0. Man City over Brighton 2-1. Newcastle over Crystal Palace 4-0. Nottingham Forest Luton 2-2 draw. Chelsea Arsenal 2-2 draw. And Man United over Sheffield United 2-1. Sunday, Aston Villa over West Ham 4-1. And then today at 3 o'clock, you have Tottenham and Fulham. Tottenham's 4th. And Fulham is all the way in 13th. Tottenham's minus 10, Fulham's plus 550. The draw's plus 360. For this one, we're going to do over 3.5 goals at plus 134. La Liga, Friday, Osasuna over Granada 2-0. Saturday, Real Sociedad over Mallorca 1-0. Getafe Betis 1-1 draw. Sevilla Real Madrid 1-1 draw. And Atletico over Celta Vigo 3-0. Sunday, Rayo over Las Palmas 1-0. Girona over Almeria 5-2. Villarreal Alaves 1-1 draw. And Barcelona over Athletic 1-0. And then today at 3 o'clock on ESPN Deportes, you have Valencia and Cadiz. Valencia is 10th. And Cadiz is 15th. Valencia minus 135, Cadiz plus 390, draw plus 240. I like the draw here at plus 240. And it's Serie A. Saturday, Napoli over Verona 3-1, Inter Milan over Torino 3-0, Lazio over Sassuolo 2-0. Sunday, AS Roma over Monza 1-0, Bologna over Frosinone 2-1, Salernitana and Cagliari 2-2 draw, Atalanta over Genoa 2-0, and Juventus over Milan 1-0. All right, today, 12:30, of Udinese and Lecce. Udinese is in 17th, Lecce is in 10th. Lecce plus 120, Udinese plus 250, draw plus 210. I think Lecce is better than Udinese. I'm going to take them at home at plus 120. And at 245, you have Fiorentina and Empoli. Empoli's 18th. And Fiorentina is in 4th. Fiorentina minus 50, Empoli plus 650, draw plus 380. So for this one, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 166. So there you have it for soccer. Now move on to golf. We had the Zozo Championship. So we'll go over that very quickly. So your winner of this tournament with the score of 14 under, Colin Morikawa, who ran away with this one. Tied for second with 8 under, Eric Cole and Beal Hostler. Tied for fourth with 7 under, Robbie Shelton and Ryo Ishikawa. Tied for 6 with 6 under, JJ Spawn, Kensei Harada, Ryo Hisatune, and Minwoo Lee. Tied for 10th with 5 under, Justin Su and Emiliano Grillo. Tied for 12th with 4 under, Cam Davis, Sanjay Im, and Sodi Kodiara. 15th with 3 under, Matt Neesmith. Tied for 16th with 2 under, Taylor Montgomery, Kurt Katayama, and Yuki Inamori. Tied for 19th with 1 under, Steve Thiglia and Keegan Bradley. Tied for 21st at even. Big group. Nate Taylor, Rataro Nagano, Aaron Ray, Will Gordon, Taylor Moore, Keith Mitchell, Luke Hodges, Harry Hall, Alex Baddeley, and Nachke Bahita. Now we do notables. Tied for 31st with 1 over. Mark Hubbard, Nicholas Hojar, Davis Riley. Tied for 38th with 2 over. Xander Schauffele, Victor Norman, Zach Blair. Tied for 41st with 3 over. Adam Svensson, Adam Scott, Kyung-Gu Lee, Nate Lashley, Justin Lauer, Nate Hardy. Michael Kim tied for 48th with 4 over. Taylor Hogue, Alex Noren, Mackenzie Hughes. Tied for 51st with 5 over. Brendan Wu, Adam Schenk, Sungwoo Kim, Hideki Matsuyama, Andrew Novak. Davis Lipsky. Tied for 59th with 6 over. Joel Dahlman, Cam Champ, CAU, Scott Stevens. Dylan Wu. Tied for 64th with 7 over. Ben Griffin, Sam Ryder, Ricky Fowler. Tied for 68th with 8 over. Matt Wallace, Austin Eckroat, Trevor Warblow. 72nd with 9 over. Hayden Buckley. Tied for 73rd with 10 over. Dylan Lingworth. 76th with 11 over. Tyson Alexander. 77th with 20 over. Ben Taylor. And Garrett Higo withdrew from the event. Next up is the WWT Championship. November 2nd through the 5th, so a couple weeks without golf. So, that's good to note. All right, NASCAR from the weekend. Homestead, Miami. I said this on Friday's show. This used to be the finale. And it doesn't kind of sit right with me that Homestead doesn't close the season anymore. All right, your winner for trucks was Carson Hosfar. Coming second was Ben Rhodes. Third was Corey Heim. Fourth, Grant Effinger. Fifth, Bailey Curry. Sixth, Stuart Friesen. Seventh, Matt Crafton. Eighth, Raja Cruz. Ninth, Ty Majeski. 10th, Chase Purdy. The rest, Tanner Gray, Jack Wood, Taylor Gray, Trevor Bain, Jake Garcia, Dean Thompson, Nick Sanchez, Marco Andretti, Lawless Allen, Christian X, Danny Dye, Tyler Hill, Nick Leitz, Brad Perez, Tyler Ankrum, Jonathan Schaefer, Mason Maggio, Haley Deegan, Memphis Villarreal, Colby Howard, Armani Williams, Spencer Davis, Spencer Boyd, and Zade Smith was disqualified. Yikes. Xfinity, the Contender Boats 250. Your winner was Sam Meyer. Second, Riley Herbst. Third, Jonathan Nemechek. Fourth, Austin Hill. Fifth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sixth, Daniel Hemrick. Seventh, Parker Kligerman. Eighth, Brandon Jones. Ninth, Sammy Smith. 10th, Joe Graff Jr. The rest, Derek Kraus, Parker Retzlaff, Cole Custer, Ryan Sieg, Justin Allgaier, Kyle Weatherman, Josh Williams, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Brennan Poole, Jeb Burton, Jeremy Clements, Kyle Sieg, Leyland Honeyman, Ryan Ellis, Parker Emmerling, Sheldon Creed, Mason Massey, Anthony Alfredo, Blaine Perkins, Kaz Gralla, Connor Mozak, Josh Berry, Mason Maggio, Chandler Smith, Brett Moffitt, Dawson Cram, CJ McLaughlin, and Ryan Newman. And the Cup Series. Your winner was Chris Bell. Second, Ryan Blaney. Third, Tyler Riddick. Fourth, William Byron. Fifth, AJ Allmendinger. Sixth, Bubba Wallace. Seventh, Ty Gibbs. Eighth, Joey Logano. Ninth, Eric Almirola. 10th, Austin Dillon. The rest, Kevin Harvick, Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece, Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Corey LaJoie, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, Justin Haley, Ty Dillon, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Newman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, John Hunter Nemechek, J.J. Ely, Kyle Larson, Josh Bilicki, and Harrison Burton. All right, next weekend's Martinsville Cup Series is the Xfinity 500, and the Xfinity Series is the Dead on Tools 250. And no trucks until the title on Friday, November 3rd at night from Phoenix. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, now move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to get to. Jalen Hurts wore a knee brace on Sunday Night Football, as he said he'll be fine after injury against the Dolphins. Kevin Stefanski confirms that Deshaun Watson will start next week against the Seahawks despite leaving the game because of the injury. Aaron Jones came back against the Broncos after suffering the hamstring injury. All signs point to Christian McCaffrey suiting up against the Vikings despite a oblique injury. Jimmy Garoppolo likely back week 8 as he'll be out week 7, but expected to be ready for Monday night game against the Lions. Budda Baker off the IR and played against the Seahawks. Meanwhile, DK Metcalf sat because of injuries to his ribs and hip. Justin Fields missed multiple weeks due to a thumb injury, but don't plan to place him on IR. Debo out at least 2 games with a hairline fracture in his shoulder. Kyron Williams placed on IR will miss 4 games for the Rams. Deontay Johnson came back for Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Pat Freiermuth on IR because of a hamstring injury. Damian Harris on IR because of a concussion and neck injury. Ty Johnson evaluated from the practice squad. No timeline for Kyler Murray's debut as he made progress this week. Nick Sirianni says, "Stop doubting us." There is a questionable first down call in the Steelers-Rams game as the Steelers got a questionable first down call, and then Sean McVay lost his mind. The NFL warns about pregame fights as teams get new rules after recent altercations. The Giants are not shopping Saquon Barkley as they're not looking to sell despite struggles. I think it comes down to the Jets game. If they lose to the Jets, then they should sell. If not, they're 3-5 and in a wide open NFC playoff picture. They're not as bad as the Bears. And they're not as bad as, say, Denver. They're probably in that tier with New England and Green Bay. I guess even on paper Denver, but they won yesterday, so we'll see about the Giants. To me, Saquon, if they trade him, it better be for a first round pick or equal to what Christian McCaffrey got back. If they get less than what Christian McCaffrey got back, then it's not worth trading him. That's just my opinion. Saquon is that important to the Giants, and in the last 2 weeks, the Giants actually showed a little bit of signs of life because of his return. I mean, the quarterback change because of Jones' injury may have a little to do with that, but Saquon Barkley's that good. That's all I gotta say. And then there is a MetLife security player that could not believe that Kayvon Thibodeau missed an interception that would have been a pick 6. The Giants did everything to lose that game yesterday. But so did Washington, and that's ultimately what happened. The Giants capitalized more on Washington's errors more than Washington capitalized on the Giants' errors. So, Giants get the win. Terrible, terrible loss for the Commanders yet again. There's a stat that was shown during the Chiefs game is that Travis Kelce seems to play better when Taylor Swift's in attendance. Yeah, no shit. And we're not going to be seeing her for much longer because she's going back on tour in November. So I just assumed that we would just be seeing her at the home games because she didn't come to Minnesota. But she came to that Jets game because it was in New York. Or New Jersey. Close enough to New York. There was a fed-up Lions fan that went viral that placed their hoodie on top of their head that went viral. And that person is going to be the face of memes for a while. College football, we'll get to in a second. Pat Surtain, unlikely to be traded as he's seemingly one of few Broncos not mentioned in trade talks. Yes, you keep him. He's a keeper. The Jets are shopping Dalvin Cook as they made him available ahead of the trade deadline. That's not surprising because they signed him thinking that Breece Hall wasn't going to be 100%, but he clearly is back. Raiders not trading Devontae Adams as they told teams they won't be trading him before the deadline. That's stupid. Although they're keeping him because they're not completely out of the playoff picture in a wide open AFC. And that's the same for Tennessee with Derrick Henry, although there hasn't been significant interest in Henry. Jimmy Garoppolo loses $90,000 each game out as his deal has become active roster bonus. Yikes. And then Bill Belichick signed an extension in the offseason as he agreed to a lucrative multi-year deal this past offseason. Well, now there's talks of him leaving the Patriots, so maybe they trade him to a different team like the Chargers or the Cowboys if they flop in the postseason. Kyle Whittingham had a mic drop on Saturday night as he compared his quarterback to Caleb Williams after beating USC. That's ridiculous. That's just hype talk. And USC's defense stinks. I know Utah deserves credit. And Caleb Williams looks awful for losing these two games, but that is just messed up that Whittingham said that. Gus Johnson came up with a clever nickname for Marvin Harrison Jr. Maserati Marv. That's an interesting nickname. Some college football news. Quinn Ewers could be out several weeks after MRI reveals his shoulder sprain. That's not great. The AP poll is out. And I want to go over it real quick. 1 through 5, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington. 6 through 10, Oklahoma, Texas, Oregon, Alabama, Penn State. Why did Penn State drop to 10? I know they lost, but they should probably be ahead of Alabama. That's just blatant favoritism towards the Crimson Tide and Nick Saban, that they're in the top 10 and Penn State's not. Because Ohio State is better than Texas right now with Ewers out. Give me a break. 11 through 15, Oregon State, Ole Miss, Utah, Notre Dame, LSU. 16 through 20, Missouri, North Carolina, Louisville, Air Force, Duke. 21 through 25, Tennessee, Tulane, UCLA, USC, James Madison. So James Madison finally in the rankings, well-deserved. Others receiving votes, Florida, Liberty, Kansas State, Miami, Fresno, Oklahoma State, Toledo, Rutgers, Kentucky, UNLV, Wisconsin. Iowa drops from rankings, and rightfully so. So, more college football recruiting. 4-star commit to Colorado quarterback Antoine Hill Jr. chooses the Buffaloes over Florida, Penn State, and Alabama. Florida lands a blue chipper. 5-star defensive tackle L.J. McCray picks them over Auburn, Florida State, Georgia, and Miami. And Florida State flipped the Miami commit. Five-star defensive lineman Armando Blount is flipping to the Seminoles after committing to the Canes last month. All right, so now we'll move on to college basketball. Indiana five-star freshman Mackenzie Mbako facing charges for criminal trespass and resisting law enforcement. Yikes. That's not good for Indiana as Mbako got arrested. All right, WNBA, Stewie likely back with the Liberty as she is to get a core player designation and won't become an unrestricted free agent. That's good for the Liberty. They can't lose her. Andre Iguodala retires after 19 seasons. Congrats to him. Great career. Multi-time NBA champion and all-star. Just a great guy. Good locker room guy. A leader. Really underrated two-way guy, especially in the prime of his career. With Philly, Denver, and Golden State. And then he ended up on Memphis but didn't play because he wanted to go to a contender. And he ended up back with the Warriors. The Kings unveiled new uniforms as they celebrate 100 years of royalty with City Edition jerseys. LeBron warned trash talkers as he was simple message regarding offseason chatter. He said, "There will be a time when everybody will get it," he said. The Warriors released Rudy Gay and Rodney Magruder, cutting the roster down to 13. Terrence Mann won't sign a Clippers extension as he says it's not happening before the season. Nuggets extend Zeke Naji, 4 years, $32 million. That's good. Zach Collins extended by the Spurs, 2 years, $35 million. And Denny Advija extended by the Wizards, 4 for $55. Brutal news for the Memphis Grizzlies. Steven Adams out for the season as he'll undergo season-ending knee surgery. That's brutal for Memphis. Scotty Barnes' injury is not serious. As he says, as the Raptors coach says, he's fine after sprinting foot in preseason finale. No timetable on a Luka Doncic return as Jason Kidd confirms he is starting to do light work. One more college thing. Boogie Flan chooses Kentucky. 5-star point guard announces his commitment to Kentucky over Indiana and Alabama. Good get for Coach Cal. Cooper flags NBA comps. Obviously, 16-year-old standout prospect. As he's linked to Giannis, Tatum, and Paul George. Wow. Giannis is high praise, and even Tatum is arguably high praise. And peak Paul George is high praise too. He's probably the next guy after Wembanyama in terms of the best draft prospect. You know what I mean? He won't be as good as Wemby, but yeah. Leo Messi started in Inter Miami's final game of the MLS season against Charlotte. Our UFC 294, Islam Makhachev beat Volkanovski. So that was a big win for him. And Khamzat Chimaev beat Usman as he goes to 13-0 after decision to win over the ex-champ. a brutal hockey injury. Connor McDavid out a week or two with an upper body injury. That's not good for Edmonton. Some fade opportunities there. A lot of baseball stuff. We talked about the benches clearing incident in the beginning of the show. And that got a bunch of people ejected. And then he hits the grand slam, the first of Game 7, which was incredible. And then Brian Abreu suspended 2 games for throwing at Adolis Garcia. But I think he played last night. I think he pitched last night. And how about this for drama? The Giants are interviewing Bob Melvin as the Padres give the Giants permission to interview him for their open job. Wow. If the Giants are able to pry him away from San Diego, that would be wonderful for them. And the Padres did the same thing. They pried him away from Oakland. And now the Giants are trying to pry him away from the Padres. And A-Rod wants number 13 retired, as he admits it did not make him happy that the team gave that number to Joey Gallo. I don't blame A-Rod. I think they should retire his number 2. This is a mixed reaction topic. Some people are saying that the Yankees are fools if they retired A-Rod's number, a.k.a. the A-Rod haters. And others are saying they should retire his number because he was a great Yankee despite the steroids. But guess who else did steroids? Andy Pettitte. Guess who else has his number retired? Andy Pettitte. But A-Rod eventually came clean. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that he gets along with the Yankees organization right now. And I think he is somewhat... is he involved in their front office somehow, him and Jeets? Well, I don't think Jeets is, but I think Alex is. And I think Pettitte is. And I think Sabathia is. So, I think they should retire 13 because he was a good Yankee and he won 2 MVPs with the team and helped them win a championship in 2009. So, I'm pro-retiring A-Rod's number. I know others are not. It's a controversial conversation and topic, but I think they should. I agree with Alex. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. This is hard in terms of where to go for best bet. But I do have a play in mind, a quarter unit. I'm going to go with soccer. I couldn't believe this number. And that's Udinese plus 120 against Lecce. Like a quarter unit on it. Udinese plus 120 to knock out Lecce for best bet. All right, that's it for the show. Tomorrow we'll be back recapping the 2 baseball games and then potentially NLCS Game 7. We'll see about that. I doubt it, but you never know with these kinds of things. And then we have a portfolio pick for you. NBA opening night, we'll preview and pick those games. And then tonight we have the NBA season preview and prediction show dropping as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.